Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have already discussed about that things with you, URL mapping. So how can create that URL mapping, and also how can create one of the specific URL for a specific some of the application. So I think it's very much clear to you. So before, I have already created one of the view page into the index. I have created one of the function into this index function. I load some of the text, right? So now here, if you want to load some of the templates, then how can load some of the templates? In this video, I will show you that things with a live example. And friend, it's very much important one of the part, and I hope you will going to like it very much. For doing this, first of all, here you have to go to your project. That means in our main root project, in particular that project area, I want to create one of the folder. So I want to create one of the folder name as a templates. Okay, I just name it as a templates. So if you now go here, you can see that is actually the templates. So into the templates folder, here I want to do for our every application, I want to create individual some of the templates. Okay, so right now, like I have only one application as a fast application. So for the fast application, I want to create individual another template for this one. Okay, so then it should be better. So right now for our fast app in our templates area, I want to create another folder. And I just name it as a fast. Okay, fast underscore app. So this type of one of the folder I want to create. So if you go to our templates, you can see I have created another templates area. So that means all that fast applications related, all that our template, I want to save it in particular that folder. So if you create another application as a second application, so better for all that second applications template, you can save it in our another template. So into the templates folder, you have to create another folder, this one. Okay, so right now I have only one. So for the reasons in our template, I have created one of the folder, that means our fast app folder. So now into this fast app folder, here I want to create another new view file. So here I want to create one of the view file, and I just name it as index.html. Okay, so now I just simply create it. So that is our index.html I have created. Okay friend, so now into this index.html, here I want to create some of the HTML page. So that is HTML page I have defined. So that is our HTML page. Okay, so into this HTML page, that is our title, that is our body, so that is our and HTML. So into this title area, I want to define one of the title as a home. Okay, home page of our fast app. So it is simply defined as a fast apps. Okay, so this type of one of the index page I have created in our templates area, and for our specific this application, that means a fast application. For the fast application, I have created another folder as a application fast. Into this application fast, here I have defined our index.html, and into this HTML file, here I define one of the title. And also if you want to put some of the text into the body area, then you can also defining it. So I just simply define as a h1 tag. Right, so into the h1 tag, here I simply define some of the text like this is the home. Okay, I just simply define as a home page of fast apps. So this type of one of the body text I have defined with the h1 tag. So now if you want to visible it, that means if you want to visible our this app HTML file in our browser, then how can do this work? So for doing this, we have to add our these templates, right? We have to add our this template, our these fast apps in our main project. That means in our project, into this project, that is our settings. So here we have to include it. Okay, friend. So in particular that position, we have to include that part. So into this position, so first of all, that is our input OS. So to the input OS, and after that, that is our one of the path. So into this building path, that is our based URL. Okay, so into this based URL, what exactly that means? So right now I am actually working our project in our this directory, right? That means in our desktop, that is our exercise file in our Django practice folder, and in particular that position I have defined our this project. But here you may actually run this project with different directory, like you can run it in your server, you can run it in your desktop another folder, right? So it should be not the same as me that I am actually using it. So right now I am using this directory. So it may also different for you. For the reasons, they have also one of the building things, that is our input OS. So into this input OS, that is our base URL. Okay, so right now we don't need this. I just simply minimize it. So now here they have also one of the variable with the base direct. So with this base direct actually is defining that path. So that is your whatever the position you are now working on it. So now first of all, if you want to check it, like here I want to check every file, that means in our ABS path, that is actually the file. So if you want to check it, then you can check it. So I just simply define it with the print. Then it's will be very much clear to you why it's important. So here I want to actually added our this file. I want to print it. So I just simply define this on here. So now if you want to check it, like here I just click as a save all. Now open our terminal. And into the terminal, now we have to go to our specific, our first project, that means my first project. So I just simply define the change directory, and then into the change directory I define our first path, that means my first project, right? So, and also into the my first project, now I want to go to our this specific folder, that means the another folder as a my first project. So now I want to also change it. So I just simply define as a cd, that means the change directory and my first project. Okay, so into this my first project, they have also one of the file as a setting file. So now I want to access it. So here if you want to access it, then you have to define as a pi and the setting. Okay, settings.py. So that is actually our file. And now if you click as a enter, now you can see it's now showing as a setting file. That means it's now appropriately getting our specific this file location. So that is the file location as a settings file. It's now getting that result. So now here if you want to display this part, like here I just simply copy it. Okay, I just simply copy it, and now in particular that area I just simply paste it. So now I want to display our this print option. That means here what exactly path it's now actually printed. So here I want to defining it. So now I just click as a save all. Okay, I just click as a save all, and now I want to run it again. I run our file and the setting.py, and then click on the enter. Now you can see it's now showing our this directory. That means that is actually the directory is now showing. So that is our first project, and that is our setting file. Okay, so here I only need our this project, right? I only want to need our this path. So that path actually our this project path. So here I only want to take this one. So here I want to remove our this folder, that means my first project folder, and also there is a setting.py. So here I also want to remove it. Because of all in our this first project I have defined our templates. So into the template I have defined our apps. So that's the templates I have to actually access. So for the reasons here we don't need our this first project and also the setting file. So if you want to remove it, so here I have already defined that path. So you can see that is actually the path. So like here if you want to run it, so I just simply copy it. Okay, I just simply copy it from here. That means this directory, better I just simply copy it, and now here after that I just simply paste it. Okay, so here that is our path, and then directory, and then OS path, and after that, so here we have to also finish it. So here I just finish our last one. Sorry, I just finish our last one. Okay, so now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all again, I just click as a save all again, and now I want to run it again. So here I just click as a up, that means the file setting.py, and now I want to print it again, click as a enter. Yes, now you can see friend, now from our previously it's now printing our setting. So now it's automatically removed that setting. So now it's showing our this folder, right? So I also want to remove this folder, because as I told you I need our only this path, that means our first project path. So here I want to use it. So now they have the another one, so I want to remove this path. So here if you want to remove it, then that is actually the another way. So better I just simply copy it, and here after that I just simply paste it. So that is our OS path and the direct name, and then path, directory, and here we have to also finish it. So I just simply finish it. Okay, I just simply finish it. So now if we click as a save all, I just click as a save all now, and now let's check this out. I want to remove our this path, right? So that means our this folder. So now I want to run it again, click as the up button, That is our file command. That is a file setting.py. Now click as a enter. Yes, now you can see friend, now it's also gone. So previously that actually outputting our my first project and then our another folder as a my first project. So now it's actually perfectly getting our this directory, that the directory I want to access. Okay, so here I just simply define our this directory and this directory data. So here I defined with this print. So now it's perfectly getting our appropriate this file location. So here I want to do after this path, that means after this directory, I want to join our these templates, right? So here I want to join our these templates. So if you want to join it, like here I want to check it. So here if you want to join it, so right now we don't need this. That is a path will be needed. So I just simply remove it. Okay, after this I want to join. So I just define as a OS path and then join. And I join our base URL, so our base direct. So here I have already defined all that our link, right? That means our appropriate link. So I just simply copy it. So now with this base direct, here after this I want to add our another one. I want to add our this link, that means the templates. So right now I just simply define as the templates. Make that sure spelling is correct. So that is our folder name as a templates folder. Right friend, so after that base directory and after that I just simply join our another folder name as a templates. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, so now it should be very much clear to you. Previously that was as a fast project. So now if you going up and file setting.py, click on the enter. Yes, now you can see friend, now it's actually join our this path, that means our file project directory, and after that it's join our templates. So that is actually our templates. I just simply added that things in our URL on here. So now that is actually the path I'm actually looking for. So right now we don't need to print it. So here I want to take one of the variable for this one. So there is also another one, we have to remove it. Okay, so I just simply remove it. So here I want to take another variable for this one. I just name that variable as a templates. Okay, templates underscore directory as a dir. So in short form, I just simply define as a templates. So into the templates underscore dir, and here I take one of the variable, and into this variable I just simply define our path. So here I have already checked it. So that is our path I want to define. So I want to take this path and take the things with this variable as a template underscore dir. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. So now we have to also define our this variable, because here I have already getting our appropriate path and take the things with this variable. So now I just simply copy it, and now in our setting here they have also another option, that is our templates option. You can see into the templates, that is actually the directory. So into this directory area we have to define our this URL path. So I just simply define our this path, in particular that area. Okay, so I just simply define that path on here. I hope you can well understand about it. And now we have to load our templates. That means in our templates, that is our fast tab, that is our index.html. So now we have to view it. So if you want to view it in our view area, I have already defined as the index one of the functions. So right now we don't need this. I just simply remove it. And here if you want to now load one of the HTML page, that means here if you want to load it, then you have to first of all define one of the dictionaries. So here I define as a diction. Okay, sorry. So I just simply define as a diction, and right now I just make that things as empty. With this you can actually pass out the value. I will show you that things later. And then I just simply define as a return. Okay, return and the render. So I just simply define as a render one of the function, and into the render function it's actually defined with the 3 parameter. One will be as a request, like that is actually our request, so it will be passing that request. Another will be our file, that the file I have already defined in our templates in our fast app, that means in our fast app folder, and that is our index file, right? So here you have to define your fast, F-R-I-S-T, okay, fast underscore app, and into the fast app, that is our file name as index.html. So here I just simply define our index.html file. And after that also there is another parameter is defined as a context. So I just simply define as a context, and into the context right now I want to pass our this dictionary, that means the diction. So I just simply pass it on here. So here I'm using the render. So render is one of the default one of the function, Python one of the function, and here into the render they have the pass to 3 of this parameter. One is the request parameter, another is your file, that means your view file, and then the context. Okay, so now here that is our index. So that is our index function. Into the index function, if you go to our URL, that means in our fast, and there is our URL. Here I have already defined one of the path as a customer, right? So into this customer I include our fast app URL. So now I want to check it. So now if you click as a save all, I just click as a save all. So right now I want to run our server. So here I just click as a new one. That is our Django project. So I just simply define as a CD and the M project. So now I just simply define as Python. Okay, Python and the manage .py and then run server. Click on the enter. So now here you can see it's now showing some of the error as a in our path. One of the contact URL I have already defined in our view contact. So that is in our fast app URL. That means in our fast app. If you go to that fast app URL, here you can see I define one of the contacts. So right now we don't need this. I just simply remove it. Because I have already deleted that view from our this function area, right? For this is actually showing this error. So now click as a save all again. So if you get any error, it should be display this error in particular that area first. Either then it should be display your server, right? So now you can see it's now perfectly showing our server. So I just simply copy that server. So now if you want to access it, I have already defined one of the URL. So that is our custom, right? So now go here and that is our page. I just refresh it. Now I want to access our this custom, click as enter. Yes, now you can see friend, now our HTML page is now perfectly loaded. So that is actually this is the home page of fast apps. So here I have defined that page. That means in our index. So that is our index page in our template. So that is our index. You can see it's now perfectly now getting that our page. So that is actually our page, right? I hope you can well understand about it. So here if you want to change anything, okay, if you can change it and click as a save all, and now if you refresh it, yeah, it's perfectly updated. So that's how you can actually include your HTML file. I hope you can well understand about it. So that is our HTML file. So it's now perfectly updated. And also here in our view, I have defined the dictionary. So how actually working with this dictionary? So from here, you can actually pass some of the ID. Like here, I define all of the ID as a text. Okay, I just simply define as a text _1. So this type of one of the ID, and here if you want to pass some of the data, then you can also pass some of the data. Okay, so here I just simply define like as a I am a text sent from view. Okay, views file. So this type of one of the text I want to pass. So if you want to now visible it, if you want to visible it in your page, that means in your view page, you can visible it with this ID. Okay, like that is our view HTML page. So that is our index HTML page. So after this, here if you want to put some of the h2 tag, okay, you can also define some of the h2 tag. Whatever you want. So right now you can define that h2 tag on particular that area, and after that if you want to display your this ID, then you have to define with the double curly bracket, and here you have to simply text your this ID. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Now click as a save all. I just click as a save all, and now if you refresh it, yeah, you can see that is actually our h2 tag. And also here I pass some of the ID data from our diction, and with these dictions now you can see it's now perfectly getting that our appropriate data. That means this message is now perfectly visible. So in our view here with this diction, I just simply pass one of the IDs. Here our all that text, I just pass it. So if you want to visible it, then you can dynamically visible that things with this ID. I hope it's very much clear to you friend how you can load one of the HTML page, so how you can load it, how you can visible it, everything is now perfectly working. In our next video, I will discuss about how you can add your all that static file. That means for HTML file that have some of the CSS file, you need some of the JSS file, right? And also if you want to display some of the images, so for the reasons I have already defined one of the HTML templates, so that is our template area. So if you want to add all that your static file data, then how can add that static file data in our next video? I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.